morning of February 18th, we were awakened rather early to fly a mission to Formosa. While the officers were being briefed, we sat around and kidded one another in the manner that fellows will do. You could always tell when there was an outburst of laughter that Harry was there pitching and doing more than his share to keep the boys laughing. target, anti-aircraft fire was heavy, and suddenly we noticed that his ship, piloted by Major Porter, our commanding officer, had been hit. Major Porter tried to bring the plane back into formation. Suddenly, it seemed as if the ship lost all control and headed towards the ground. Fighters followed the ship down and reported having seen 5 parachutes open. In my opinion, Mrs. Spivey, I believe that Harry was one of the parachutists, and if he was, he may be a prisoner of war. There isn't much known about the treatment of prisoners, but the way I've been told, they are treated halfway decently.
Yes, this is the only acknowledgement we had from the Army, other than the notification of his demise or missing in action, was about all we heard from the Army. Of course, the Army had all it could handle in dealing with personnel and such as that, so you couldn't expect too much, and that's the way it turned out. You know, it was several weeks before we knew that Harry had been shot down. But they talked about the plane and the people that came out on parachutes. I said one of those was Harry, because he was in the upper third quarter and he had the best means of leaving the plane, which he did, I'm sure, in a hurry. And he was shot in the arm while coming down, I believe. That's about all we learned from the lieutenant who survived all this, that Harry was in a great deal of pain when they landed from being shot in the arm. And the lieutenant we had, he says, this is a story. We're going to tell them we were stationed at such and such a place, and we would all agree with that. But I think as soon as we got in there and they started interrogating, they knocked that idea out of sight. You know, they wouldn't believe anything we said about it. And we had dreams. I remember George telling me about one, and he was talking to Harry, and Harry was going somewhere, and he said, "Why can't I go with you, Harry?" He said, No, I've got to go on my own." And that just broke me down, you know. And so it was just so real for George to have a dream like that his brother Harry talked with, but Harry says, "No, you can't go with me. I've got to go alone." And that was heartbreaking. I remember him saying that George and I became very close. And in writing, he says, when I got the word, he said, I went behind the barracks and I cried my heart out, you know? And it was very sad. George and I became very close during that time because we shared the love and we had for one another,